All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today, day after 4th of July. Awesome to be here. This is a great opportunity for us to do a live Q&A. See a lot of you already joining, so this is awesome. We're going to do a live Q&A today on your vitamin and supplement questions. Just so you know, I'm Steve Hoffart. I own Magnolia Pharmacy. I have a lot of social media. I have a podcast called The Trusted Pharmacist. And tonight I really wanted to do a Q&A to get your vitamin and supplement questions while we have an awesome sale going on online right now on our website at magnoliapharmacy.com. So once again, you can watch the bottom scrolling. You can take advantage of the savings that are there. Excited to have you joining us to be live. So once again, I want to stress it's super important to make sure that you drop your questions in the chat. That's how I'm going to get them today. So in that sense, I see Diane D saying, hey, can you give me a shout out on my birthday? And you just got it. See a lot of people joining from all over. I see a lot of you joining. Where can I find a good lithium supplement? Let's start with that one. Shebra asked that. Actually, one of the products I like is a product by Pure. That's a lithium orotate, low dose, works great. Highly recommend that product. It's highly well tested. So you might want to do that. I see Prince Luxury Mario, 49 years old male. My cholesterol is high. What top daily vitamins do you recommend? That's a great question. I mean, and I want to say, jumping in, looking at this, and I'll answer your question in a sec. Just want to remind you, I'm Steve Hoffart. I'm with Magnolia Pharmacy. We have a great, awesome live tonight. I'm going to run till you have questions. I'll do my best to answer as many as I possibly can. In terms of looking at what we have going on. Make sure you join. You can go to magnoliapharmacy.com right now and get our supplements, our high quality, third-party tested, everything I reviewed and put on there myself at 10% off. But because it's America's birthday and it is the 250th celebration, we are offering, if you spend $250 or more, I'm actually going to give you 20% off. Don't do that a lot. The other thing I'm going to say is if you go look and you look at something called what we have at Magnolia Pharmacy or called Magnolia Circle, it's a free community. If you're in the inner circle, which is a small collective community that we've put together to share health information, you can actually get an extra 10% off. So anyway, let's jump into some questions. Once again, I'll try my best to answer as many as I can. Once again, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, drop those in the chat. So one of the questions was about cholesterol. And I want to be honest with you. I think my combination or my 3 go-to supplements when it comes to cholesterol, and these are mine personally, is I like a combination of berberine. There's something called bergamot. So be careful. Berberine and bergamot sound a lot alike. They're a lot different. So there's berberine, there's bergamot. And then the last thing is a high quality omega-3. That combination I found to be the best. I'm not telling you not to take statins. We won't get in that debate tonight. But if you're looking at statins as far as that goes, oh, and I see Carrie asking right now, can the inner circle be stacked with the 4th of July? And you better believe that you should be able to do that. And if not, you'll let me know, Carrie. I'll make sure. But you should be able to enter that in. The other discounts are already going to be there. They're already taken at the point of sale whenever you check out of our thing. But you should be able to put the inner circle discount along with it. And if you're spending more than $250, that means you're getting a 30% discount. So Carrie, sorry if that's an issue. If not, I will make sure personally you get taken care of. But going back to cholesterol, my 3 faves to help lower cholesterol. If you're not wanting to do a statin, I'm not telling you not to take statins. I'm just saying, I always recommend ask your doctor, can I try something a little different? What can we do with this? I always say, give me 6 months of diet, lifestyle, exercise, and mix a combination of berberine, bergamot, and omega-3s. Once again, everything tonight is just for informational purposes. I'm not a medical doctor. I am a licensed pharmacist. I have a fellowship in functional medicine. But once again, these are things I'm going to give you some advice you can go talk to your doctors about and ask questions. Once again, drop your questions in the chat. If you have any questions at all, I want to be sure to answer them. I'm kind of going back through. You're dropping them in fast. Let's go to the next one. Recommended supplements with a lower cholesterol. You've done that one. Chantel had that one for me, so appreciate you joining. Let's go out here. Always exhausted, need energy supplements. So I want to bring up a couple supplements that I think are key for energy. And one of the first ones that I'm going to recommend and I'm going to talk about tonight, and it's actually one of our top sellers on our website during this 4th of July sale, and that's our Magnolia Multi. And the reason I say that as a pharmacist, we've sat and looked at all the different multivitamin products out there. And I don't think there's anything like Magnolia Multi on the market. And I'm going to tell you why. We all know the big brands, the Centrums, the one-a-days, those type things. But I'm going to tell you, if you really want a true multi and don't have to take a lot of products, there's no way to get everything in one capsule. And that's why we developed Magnolia Multi. It's not one capsule, but it is two. And let me tell you how powerful it is. And let me tell you, Wandy, why I think that you're going to see this is great if you're exhausted. If you're not taking a multi, you should be on one, because unfortunately, it's just impossible to get all the food that we need, the vitamins and minerals from the food that we need. But the one thing about Magnolia Multi is this. One, it's got a B complex. And if you know anything about your mitochondria, if you know anything about how the body makes its energy, you have to make sure you have adequate B vitamins, because if you don't, your body just can't function properly. So that's the first thing, is you don't have to take a B complex, because Magnolia Multi has a B complex built into it. The next thing is, do you know your minerals? Those are things like your selenium, your zinc, copper. All of those are critical, what are called parts of helping your body better break down, better understand all the metabolic processes through the enzymes that go on. And so that's what Magnolia Multi has. It's a really great multi-mineral. The only mineral in here that I'm going to tell you to recommend that's not in here, because we really just can't put enough in the capsule, and that is magnesium. So you're going to want to take a magnesium supplement with it, but it's got the multi-mineral. The other things that I think are important is it's got something called carnitine. It's an amino acid which helps jumpstart the body in terms of mitochondrial energy production. The other thing is it's got your alpha lipoic acid, and it also has chromium, which is great to help you control your blood sugars. And once again, I see many people feeling tired, run down, fatigued because they don't keep their blood sugars under control. So I want to stress that's another big one for you. So Magnolia Multi is a good place to start if you're tired, run down, exhausted. Other things that you might want to consider that I would look at that you can get. I don't know if we have one on our website right now. You might even consider things like there's some high quality products that are methylene blue called Transcriptions. You might look at something like that, but that's my go-to. That Magnolia Multi is a great one as far as it goes. Carla, I see you have a question. Any concerns about taking berberine, chromium picolinate, and pendulum's glucose control together? And that is a great question. No, not at all. To be honest with you, I take that myself. I will say this much, though. If you're on Magnolia Multi, you do not have to take chromium. We've got 1,000 micrograms of a high-quality chromium form in there. You would not have to do that. But a combination of pendulum's glucose control with Magnolia Multi, with berberine, you talk about a powerful combination to help lower your blood sugars. Once again, that's Magnolia Multi, that's berberine, and glucose control. If you don't know what glucose control is a product by Pendulum. It's on our website. I'm not going to lie. It's not a cheap probiotic, but you get what you pay for. It's got 5 key strains that actually have studies to show that it lowers your glucose postprandial. That means after a meal. So what's great is you've got your Magnolia Multi that's got alpha lipoic acid and chromium. It's got your B vitamins in there to help make sure that your body's running right. It's also got, you got your berberine to help lower blood sugars, and you got your glucose control. That is a great combination, Carla. Like the question. Love it. Want to see right here. I would like, somebody asked, I see dir.e.s. I would like to ask, if I forgot my vitamins when I didn't take it in the morning, is it good to have a vitamin D iron at all the same time? I'm not quite sure your question on that. I will tell you this much. I did a reel on this week, and you do not want to take, I would not recommend take your vitamin D at night. I would definitely take your vitamin D in the morning to match what the body did. So keep that in mind. Thanks so much. I see a lot of you on here right now. Stay on, keep asking your questions. I'll answer as many as I can, and I'll go as long as I can. Just a reminder, I'm Steve Hoffart. I own Magnolia Pharmacy. We have our 4th of July sale going on. It's kind of a cool sale because we're celebrating $250 with you. It's 10% off our high quality supplements on our website at magnoliapharmacy.com. What's even more cool is if you spend $250 or more, you actually get 20% off. Don't do that very often. That's not something we normally offer, but that's something that we're offering today. Keep the questions coming. They're piling in. Let's see here. I see I got Sandos, and it says, with isotretinoin, what top vitamins can help and tolerate with it? You know, I would just say if you're looking at a drug like that, that's a drug that's typically used for somebody with acne. Anything you can do to keep inflammation down and protect your gut is super critical. To me, a good multi is critical. A high quality omega-3, optimizing your vitamin D, I think is important. You know, and just honestly with that and acne. To me, it's all about gut health, and it's all about eating a clean anti-inflammatory diet. That's my suggestion there. And could you recommend what could you recommend for low ferritin? So I'm going to tell you this much. One of my favorite vitamins for that is something we have on our website, and it is a specific kind of iron. So if you don't know, ferritin is your storage form of iron. And if you don't have adequate iron levels, and even what's considered normal, which is like 30, is really not enough. I see you buying stuff online right now. Keep the orders coming. But if you look at ferritin and it isn't at least 75 or higher, what we're seeing is a lot of patients, especially my female postmenopausal patients, your thyroid is not going to work effectively because unfortunately you need iron to convert the inactive T4 to the active T3. And so what's important is taking a good quality iron. Now, what's important to remember, ferrous sulfate, ferrous gluconate, ferrous fumarate, those irons are okay, but did you know your body don't absorb very much and it can lead to constipation and GI upset? So there's a specific kind of iron, and that is ferrous glycinate or ferrous bisglycinate. We have it on our website. If you're looking for an iron that gets absorbed well, doesn't cause GI issues, and it doesn't cause constipation, and it doesn't cause constipation because it gets absorbed, that's what you're looking for. So for low iron, I would recommend ferrous bisglycinate. Going through your questions. Let's see here. Psyllium husk and oats are good to lower LDL. And I agree with you. I love the idea if you've got LDL or cholesterol issues, along with the berberine, along with the bergamot, along with the Ultra Omega Max, which is the omega-3 that we recommend. Highly recommend a good high quality fiber. Psyllium, you can also do flax. I think that's good. All of those are great to help along with that. So let's see what else questions I got. Keep the questions coming. I see Valerie over here. Is there a chart to take vitamins and other supplements, what not to take together? That's a great question. If you follow some of my good, a lot of my social media posts, I've got a lot of triggers in there for best morning vitamins, different things like that. So unfortunately, I don't particularly have those. I will tell you this much. If you're not part of the Magnolia Circle, this is a place that we drop unlimited amount of free information in there. We do have an inner circle buy-up that you can do, that you actually can go on there and you have me or my pharmacist. We will answer any question that you have anytime you want it answered. That's available. But if for more vitamin information, highly recommend that you jump on there and check out Magnolia Circle. I see Mary's asking, is omega fatty acids a good fish oil? So I want to talk about fish oil because I can tell you right now, this is one of the top 3 products that we're selling over the weekend. And what I want to say about that is that omega-3s, if you're not going to take a quality product and you don't take enough of them, I'm just going to say don't take them at all. And there's a lot of data that talks about this. Because the thing most people get wrong with omega-3s that I see is when you look at it on the back and you look at the supplements, you need to look for 2 things that are critical: EPA and DHA. These are 2 what's called essential fatty acids that your body can't make that you need to take from a supplement. And most people just don't take enough. Sometimes it'll say like omega-3 1000, and you're thinking you're getting 1,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA. You turn it on the back, and that's not always true. This is one that we recommend here. This is a 4 capsule dose of omega-3s, and it gives you 2,400 milligrams of EPA and DHA. Me personally, my recommendation is to shoot between 2,000 to 4,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA a day. And that's if you're eating a clean diet. The other thing is omega-3 testing or omega-6 to omega-3 ratios. We have some testing coming soon on our website. You'll be happy to know. But you've got to work on getting that omega-3 index in the right area so that you can get the most anti-inflammatory benefit to balance out those omega-6s, which are inflammatory. But the other thing is it isn't just taking enough of this, it's the quality. So many fish oil products are just garbage. They don't test them, or they'll test one batch, but they don't test the next. Our Ultra Omega Max is the one that we've done the studying on. It's the right form of omega-3. It's the right amount of omega-3, and it's got third-party and quality testing on every single batch because you don't want to be putting omega-3s in your body and adding things like toxins or PCBs or heavy metals. And there's so many just garbage products on the market. So Mary, once again, I just want to stress, it's kind of one of my foundationals. 2 foundational products are our 2 top sellers this weekend. One is Ultra Omega Max and the other is Magnolia Multi. Can't stress that enough. I think that's a good call out. Just want to call that out when it comes to omega-3s. I see over on YouTube, I have a question that says, what's the best time to take CoQ10? You know, that's a good one. So CoQ10 is a cofactor. We get a lot of it from red meats, but I can tell you 2 things are important. If 1, you're on a statin, or 2, as you get over 50, almost everybody needs to be on CoQ10. There's actually some prescription medications that can deplete your CoQ10 also. But if I'm going to recommend CoQ10 because it does help with energy, I recommend to take it in the morning. You want to take the morning dose of CoQ10 and you want a good quality CoQ10. If you're getting a dry powdered capsule CoQ10, you are wasting your money because CoQ10 does not get absorbed well. We have a really good high quality. We have a 100 milligram, and then we also have a 400 milligram CoQ10 on our website. These are specially soluble forms of CoQ10. So if you're going to ask me about best time to take it, I would take it in the morning. Great questions. Keep them coming. This is awesome. I see I got different people joining from different places. I got people joining from all over. This is so great to see. Let's go now. Let's tell me your questions. Once again, I'm Steve Hoffart. I own Magnolia Pharmacy. We are having a 4th of July sale. And what I'm excited about is you get a 10% discount off all the high quality vitamins and supplements that are on our website from now till midnight. Sale ends at midnight. But what's even more cool is because of the celebration of America 250, we are actually offering 20% off of orders $250 or more. It's a great time to stock your cabinets up with high quality supplements that you know you can trust. And right now you can ask me which questions that you need. Drop them in the comments. Keep them coming. I'll keep trying to answer your questions. Kind of going through, looking through all the joints. Let me get down here. What do you think of amino acids in the morning instead of a protein breakfast? I would say this much. If you're really trying to watch your calorie intake per day, and I'm not a calorie person, I'm more about macros. I don't really look at calories as much because I'm more about eating quality food. But if you're one of these ones, you're very sedentary and you already know that you're going to struggle with calorie intake or you have a low basal metabolic rate, then I think amino acids are a good point, especially if you have digestive issues because these amino acids are already broke down. Now, if you're not worried about picking and you're not worried about the calorie intake, I think a good high quality protein powder is good. Let's talk about that. I am all for whey protein isolate if you can afford it for 2 reasons. One, it's got all the essential amino acids you need. It's highly digestible. The isolate's even more clean. It has less casein, so it has less effect on your insulin, but it's also a lot more pure. It's less inflammatory. But the most important is whey protein has the most amount of leucine of any of the proteins. And leucine is critical for protecting your muscle mass as you age. So I can't stress this enough. A good high quality protein powder, about 30 grams in the morning. If you're looking at that, I like whey protein isolate. We have a Thorne product on our website. I take it myself. We have a chocolate and a vanilla. You might want to check that out. Great question from Suzanne. But once again, if you're worried about the calorie side, then I think doing like an amino acid only product is a good choice. Great question on that. I love that. Let's go back, jump over to Facebook. I see, what are supplements should I take for extreme joint pain? So one of the things I'm going to tell you that may shock some of you, and that is, believe it or not, did you know your aches and pains, granted, we all have wear and tear, but your aches and pains actually could be driven by not so much the joint or the pain itself, but by poor gut health. And I know that sounds crazy, but I have a lot of patients, they fix their gut, they reduce inflammation, they have something that's called leaky gut. And believe it or not, one of the first things that clears up is aches and pains. So if you got extreme joint pain, here's what I'd recommend my regimen. Number 1 is, believe it or not, get rid of all wheat, gluten, grains. These are very inflammatory. And I see some people alone, aches and pains in their hands and feet, go away with just getting rid of grains. Number 2, work on fixing your gut. In that sense, a good probiotic. But more importantly, for the pain itself, one of the things, back to it again, omega-3s, a high quality omega-3 supplement is critical. Optimize your vitamin D to keep your immune system in check, but also improve your gut health. And then one of the other things you might consider doing is taking a high quality curcumin. We actually have a Thorne curcumin product on our website that I really like. The other thing, or last thing, is a good quality magnesium is something you might want to take. Magnesium glycinate, magnesium malate. Those are some good choices. So those are some things to do as kind of a good overall for extreme joint pain. But once again, it's one thing to take supplements, but it's also something to work on the other things that can drive inflammation. I have dry eyes. This is from Valerie. I was told high DHEA 1,000 or more. Yes, I cannot stress enough. People don't realize how powerful omega-3s are in terms of dry eye. And you're right. You got to get enough DHA, which I will tell you for most high quality omega-3 products, even our Ultra Omega Max, you're talking 4 capsules a day. You can take them all at once or you can split them, but that's what I would recommend. These are great questions. Keep them coming. We've got so many people online right now having a hard time answering them all, but keep the questions coming. Let's keep doing this. I see just a shout out. I got Annette coming all the way from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Keep them dropping. So I see Sean's asking CoQ10 versus active form of it. At 38 years old, healthy, active, what's best? That is a great question. And I've done a lot of research on this because I don't know if you know this. There are two forms of CoQ10. One is ubiquinone, and that ends in O-N-E. And then there's another one ends in ubiquinol, which is O-L. And the way that I always help remember is when you hear the O-L, think old. That's the active form. And there's some thoughts. If you take the old form, ubiquinol, it may be better for you, especially 50 and older. 38, I wouldn't worry about it. But what I'm learning is, like I mentioned earlier, it's the quality of the omega-3 that's probably more important than actually the whether or not it's ubiquinone or ubiquinol. One thing about ubiquinol is you're going to spend a lot of extra money for ubiquinol. Ubiquinol is expensive. And so what I would tell most patients is get on a good high quality product. We have a 400 milligram ubiquinone product that is very good, highly absorbed, and we've given it to people and tested their levels, and their CoQ levels 10 are great. But if you are worried about it and you're older and you're like, I don't mind spending the extra money, yes, the ubiquinol form is supposed to be better. Sean, that's a great question. Just a reminder, I'm Steve Hoffart. I'm with Magnolia Pharmacy. We have a lot of you online right now. This is awesome to have you join. We are celebrating the 4th of July with the sale on our website at Magnolia Pharmacy. Our website is there for you, magnoliapharmacy.com. You get a 10% discount off your supplements for 4th of July. But because of America's 250th birthday, we're offering 20% off orders $250 or more through midnight. But the best part is you got me right now answering your questions. Don't just buy supplements to buy supplements. Buy supplements for a reason. Have a purpose for taking them. I don't recommend just to take supplements for nothing, but I think key targeted supplements with diet and lifestyle can have a big impact. So once again, keep coming. Drop your comments in the chat. I'll answer them as long as I can. I'm going to go a little longer, but you have until midnight tonight to drop those questions in there. Let's keep going. I see Nellie's side of my life wants to know your thoughts about collagen. And that's a great question. We have a great collagen product on our website called Collagen Complete. I like it a lot. It's third-party tested. It's high quality, and it's absorbable collagen. There are some collagens that, keep in mind, collagens are nothing but it's certain amino acid sequence that your body uses for the building blocks of things like bones, cartilage, and things like that. There are different forms of cartilage for different parts of your body that different collagen is needed for. This one does have type 1, type 2, type 3. Some collagen works on your gut. Some works on your skin. Some works on your joints. I would say, I think there's enough data to show, one, if you exercise and you're very active, I think collagen can be a key about helping you recover quickly. The other thing is if you do have aches and pains, that was one asked earlier, I think collagen can be a great choice. But I do want to stress is you got to be consistent with taking it daily. It's not the type of supplement you're going to take it a week or two and get a big difference. But if you can take it on a regular basis, stick with it for 3 to 6 months. I've had patients come back with good sake. And keep in mind, you may not have thought it's actually good for your gut. So keep that in mind. Another question here from K Blatt 96. L-theanine, glycine, magnesium glycinate, a good sleep stack. This is awesome. I will tell you, I've experimented myself with magnesium, and we've got a couple different. I got a couple magnesiums here that I'll tell you. One of my favorites is Brain Mag Max. I have a powder and I have a liquid. Powder's kind of nice. It gets in your system a little faster. The capsules is the same thing, but it gets absorbed that way. I'll tell you what I have found myself. So magnesium 3-and-8, which is what's in this Brain Mag Max, is great. Believe it or not, there's actually less magnesium per capsule in the Brain Mag. The thing you have to keep in mind is, but that 3-and-8 molecule actually helps shuttle more of the magnesium to your brain, which is a good thing. But what I found is there's not a lot of magnesium in it. Me personally, I've tracked sleep, and I'll tell you the best way to find out if your sleep stack's working, wear an Oura Ring, wear Whoop, wear something. But I can tell you what's important to keep in mind is track and find out what your REM sleep and your deep sleep's going, what your restfulness is, what your latency, how long is it taking you to go to sleep. I personally have found a stack of magnesium L-theanate or magnesium 3-and-8, which is here, a Brain Mag Max, stacked with magnesium glycinate. That's what I found the best. One thing, like I mentioned, is magnesium 3-and-8, there's not a lot of magnesium per capsule. Like in this product, even right here, there's only 144 milligrams of elemental magnesium per 2 capsules. But if you take a magnesium glycinate with it, that's an extra 125 milligrams of magnesium. That's what I do at bedtime. Once again, I don't like to take more than about 300 milligrams of magnesium per time. because your body can only absorb so much. You may be wasting your money if you're not doing that otherwise. But that's what I would recommend for you to do is hop on there and consider stacking those two. My fave is 3 and 8 and glycinate at night. Keep in mind, 3 and 8 is great during the day. It can help with focus. It can help with concentration. So you might want to do a daytime dose. But that's my stack when it comes to stacking those two. Regarding L-theanine, it's up to the person. If you lay down at night and you have monkey brain and you can't go to sleep, the other thing to add to that stack is something called L-theanine. It's a green tea extract. It's very clean. We have it on our website. You can take anywhere between 100 to 200 milligrams as needed a couple times a day. Think of it as nature's natural Valium, but it doesn't make you sleepy. It's not addicting, but it can shut your brain off from running, being racy, and all that type of stuff. Keep your questions coming. I'm Steve Hoffart. I own Magnolia Pharmacy. We are celebrating with you tonight, 4th of July celebration. It's America's 250th birthday. And if you spend $250 or more of supplements on our website at magnoliapharmacy.com, you then have the ability to get 20% off your supplements. Want to stress, for those of you in our Magnolia Inner Circle, you can stack the discounts. You can put those together. And if you stack those two discounts, you actually can get up to 30% off. If you don't know about Inner Circle, check out our link tree in the bio. Highly recommend you look at that because it's a new community we've created to put like-minded people together to actually change the trajectory of your health moving forward. Once again, I'm Steve Hoffart. I own Magnolia Pharmacy. I don't know if you follow me on social media. Highly recommend that. I also have a podcast called The Trusted Pharmacist, where we take a deep dive into all types of health topics from a pharmacist perspective. Great questions. Keep them coming. I will answer them as long as I can or my voice holds out. I got one on here from oh my gosh, M4MBA0824. Is it better to take a magnesium complex? I think for some people, I'll tell you one real popular product on our website is called Triple Mag. It's a mixture of 3 of my favorite magnesiums, glycinate, taurate, and malate. It's really good for muscles, good for your cardiovascular system. It's a good, highly absorbable form of magnesium. And the most important thing I want you to know, all of the supplements that are on our website are things I've chosen myself. I take them myself. I recommend them to my patients. I recommend them to my family. They're third-party tested, and you know you're getting what you're supposed to be getting because me as a pharmacist, I know what to look for in supplements, and there is so much garbage out there right now between things you can order off of Amazon. You don't know what you're getting. Sometimes you may even order a name brand product, think you're getting it, and it can be a counterfeit. So once again, that's one thing you don't have to worry about. If you order vitamins and supplements off of magnoliapharmacy.com, that is not something that you have to worry about. See, another question here is Jim Bryan says, I already have Magnolia Multi. What else is good to support insulin resistance? I like berberine to add with Magnolia Multi because like he said, it's already got chromium and alpha lipoic acid, but berberine is one thing you can do. The other thing you might consider doing and looking at because that I would recommend is a product called Glucose Control by Pendulum. It's a special type of probiotic that actually has studies to show that it can help minimize those insulin blood sugar swings after meals. And then the other thing I would recommend if you're not already doing this is consider wearing a CGM. We actually have Stellos on our website that you can buy, put on a CGM and actually track your blood sugars. Because once again, it don't look at your insulin, but I can tell you if your blood sugar is all over the place all day long, your insulin is right there with it. And that's what's driving insulin resistance. I'm getting so many questions. I'm going to do my best to answer. Once again, whether if you're on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, drop your questions on the chat. I'll do my best to answer those. It's all of them I can tonight. So I see right here, it says, Patty says, what do you recommend for low thyroid, weight gain, and extreme fatigue? So I've already kind of covered some of these. I will say, if you're looking for a good multivitamin to support thyroid function, you might look at our product called Thyroid Support. It's got all the vitamins and minerals your body needs not only to help it make thyroid, it's even got some things like tyrosine, which is one of the building blocks. It's got iodine, but it's also got vitamins and minerals that help your body work on the conversion of the inactive T4, which is the storage form of thyroid your body makes, to the active T3. So if you've got a sluggish thyroid, you might want to consider that. That's a great question. I see Christina, DHEA dose for perimenopause or menopausal women struggling with adrenal fatigue, time of the day to take. Christina, this is a great question because this is something that happens all the time with women that are trying to take DHEA over the counter. It is a supplement you can get over the counter, no doubt about it. I think it's a great supplement, especially if you're run down fatigue. You really should have your levels checked. But the problem that I see with most women is they're starting out at like 10 milligrams, 15 milligrams, 20 milligrams. You know what? That's what a guy needs. And I don't know if you know this or not, but a woman specifically, not so much men, but a woman can take DHEA over the counter and she can actually make and convert it to adequate amounts of testosterone and even a little bit of estrogen. So what I recommend is, once again, talk to your doctor. I'm not trying to play a doctor. I'm a pharmacist, but working with women with perimenopause and menopause, I recommend to start out between 2.5 to 5 milligrams a day. Take it in the morning because it can give you some energy. It can definitely help you feel better. And that works great. If you're taking low dose DHEA and you notice potential symptoms of high testosterone, because like you said, your body can convert, you might consider something called 7-keto DHEA. It's less likely to convert from DHEA to testosterone. But if you're looking for one supplement, i.e. DHEA, that can convert to testosterone, plain DHEA around 2.5 to 5 milligrams, ask your medical provider about this. If you're going to be on things like this, you need to be having your hormone levels checked and things. So I just want to stress that. Next one right here, I see Chandel asking, how long should we stay on Women's Nature's Restorative Probiotic? You know, that's a great question. And I will tell you, I'm going to put Women's Restorative Probiotic up on my screen because I will tell you that is one of the more popular products that we sell. It is our number one seller right now. The number one seller we have going on right now during the 4th of July sale. But I will tell you, for me personally, this one is huge because Women's Restorative Probiotic is something that me and Dr. Farrow, a good friend of mine, developed in Houston to promote good vaginal health. There are certain strains of bacteria that you need to make sure to keep your vaginal area healthy. These certain bacteria, they help keep the pH adequate. They help fight off bad bacteria. They are just so beneficial. But unfortunately, due to estrogen changes as you get older, antibiotics in our food, diet, stress, lifestyle, those good bacteria go away. And this is the product we formulated with the specific strains women need to keep their vaginal tissue healthy. Now, the key is you can take it by mouth, and we actually recommend you to take it by mouth. But the one thing I also want to tell you about Women's Restorative Probiotic is that I actually have some ladies, there's a protocol you can go on our website that talks about an oral and vaginal combination use, that if you're a woman that's been struggling with chronic UTIs, it can be a game changer. And so what I want to stress for you is you might want to consider looking at that. You ask, how long can we take it? And I will tell you, for me personally, I tell ladies at least to do 1 month vaginally, 3 months oral for at least that. I would say you probably can at least do 3 to 6 months orally. And then I do recommend to rotate probiotics. I don't recommend to stay on the same one all the time, but for women's health, this one is key. We've had such good luck. We've had such good comments from it. So I just want to say that maybe one of the ones you asked about how long, I would probably at least do it for 3 to 6 months and then rotate off. Once again, Women's Restorative Probiotic, our number one seller throughout the sale right now. So it's one of those things you might want to consider adding to your cart. Once again, I'm going to go about another 10 to 15 minutes answering your supplement questions. Right now, my name is Steve Hoffart. I own Magnolia Pharmacy. I'm doing a Q&A with your vitamin and supplement questions for July 4th. We have 10% off our high-quality vitamins and supplements until midnight tonight. But if you spend $250 celebrating America, we will actually give you a bigger discount. That's 20% off, something we don't often offer. So as far as that goes, you can see I get excited talking about this stuff. It's really, really cool. Appreciate your comments. But that is a great, great question that will actually help to make sure that we answer. And with that said, let me get my newest comments and pull them up here. Great question. I hope that answers your question there. I see Anna asked, do you recommend B12 or a B complex or for someone at HRT? And so highly recommend a B complex if you're on HRT. Your body needs it for the different phases of hormone metabolism. That's where, honestly, if you're on just a good multi, our Magnolia Multi is a B complex combo with the multivitamin. Can't stress that enough. Great product. Let's see right here. Going back through questions, I have another question over here on YouTube. My doctor doubled my dose of estrogen and I gained 10 pounds, including my bust, waist, and hips. I'm going to tell you this. This is a different question. So this is two-part question here. One, hormones done right should not make you gain weight. And if you doubled something and you gain weight, it's pretty simple. It's too much estrogen. But it's a balance of your hormones. It's the estrogen, progesterone. That's what's critical. And if you gain weight, go back to your doctor. I would talk to them about that. But two things, like I just mentioned, you need a good B complex to break down those estrogens. So that's the first thing. The other thing is too, looking at estrogen metabolites. If you're taking estrogen hormones and you're not doing estrogen metabolites, you got to be doing that. But a lot of ladies find their estrogen metabolites are not going down the right pathway. And that's why I would recommend something that includes DIM. That is a special type of substance that's found in cruciferous vegetables that better helps your body break down the estrogen and clear it from the system. The other thing is you have to be going poop. So if you're not going poop every day, you don't clear your estrogen metabolites. So these are just some things to think about for yourself, especially if you're having issues with gaining weight on hormones. And my favorite go-to, if you've got constipation issues and you're not going poop every day, my favorite go-to for that is magnesium citrate. You get the beneficial magnesium, but also too can help with constipation issues. I have so many comments on the Instagram side. I'm trying to get through them all. I see on here, I see M. Fogelson says, I've been trying to schedule a consult with you guys. Just a reminder, people are asking about consults. I want to stress, you have to be a part of the Magnolia Inner Circle, not just Magnolia Circle, but the Magnolia Circle. We actually have consults that are available right now. You can go in there and book them. We put those up in July. If you want to learn more about Magnolia Circle, Magnolia Inner Circle, make sure you go to our link in the bio on Linktree. I got the information there. I see it says, let's see, Is it better to take vitamin D3 pill, form, or liquid? If you're one to take vitamin D3, and I would highly recommend you to take it with K, and your numbers aren't moving. Let's say you take it for 3 months and they don't move at all. And let's say you go up on the dose and it doesn't move a lot. I will actually tell you, or I suggest, make sure at that point you might want to switch forms. And that's where going from a capsule to a sublingual drop. We have a great vitamin D3 plus K product on our website. It's a sublingual drop that you put between your cheek and gum and hold it. And a lot of times, a lot of people have gut issues or vitamin D just doesn't get absorbed as well. Also, taking your vitamin D with a fatty meal. If you take omega-3s, take your vitamin D and omega-3s together at the same time. It'll actually help absorption. And if you want to learn a lot more about vitamin D, I just did an awesome podcast. Everything you need to know about vitamin D. Go check out the Trusted Pharmacist. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. I did a great podcast and it answers all your questions about vitamin D. Let me go through these. You got some great questions. I'm getting close to wrapping up, so make sure you're dropping those questions in the comments. I see thanks for the chat. Awesome. Yeah, you're very welcome. Glad to be doing this and helping out. Says I went too fast on insulin resistance. All right, Rosie, let's do this. I apologize. I am a fast talker and I get excited to do this stuff. Insulin resistance. The one thing I would just say, if you want a good multivitamin for insulin resistance, I don't think there's another multivitamin that's as complete as this that also works on insulin resistance, and that's Magnolia Multi. And the reason I say that is because one, not only does it have all your B complex and your minerals and all the vitamins your body needs just to run a healthy system, it's got 1,000 micrograms of a highly absorbable form of chromium. It also has alpha lipoic acid, 150 milligrams, not a token amount, but a legit amount that can actually help with insulin resistance. With that said, the two other things that I would recommend that you get optimal insulin resistance, two other items you might consider, actually there's three. One of them is consider berberine. I really like berberine for what it does for blood sugar control. The other thing you might consider is a high quality omega-3 to keep inflammation down. And then the last thing that you might want to consider is a special type of probiotic called glucose control from Pendulum. It's not the cheapest probiotic, but I can tell you it actually has studies to show that it can actually help you control blood sugar. So Rosie, I apologize for being fast. I hope that helps. Let's see here. Do you believe those with Hashimoto's should avoid iodine? I think those with Hashimoto's should do two things. One, I think some iodine is critical. You can't say avoid it. Your body needs iodine to make thyroid. I think higher doses of iodine in the milligram dose, if you're going to be on those, you need to be working with your doctor and monitor thyroid function. There are some patients that may need that. I'm more of a microgram dose. That's one of the cool things we did with Magnolia Multi. We actually put a decent amount of micrograms of iodine in there. But if you're going to take milligram doses, 5, 10, 12 and a half milligrams, I'm not against it. I think it's right for some patients, but you want to be careful because it actually can trigger and cause some other issues. So be careful with that. Great question. What does it say? Why would one have high end on labs a bit over? I'm not quite sure what that question is. Good try. I'm going to skip that one. Keep your questions coming. I'm going to be on for a few more minutes. I will answer all I can. I hope you found this interesting. Just a reminder, I'm Steve Hoffart. I'm with Magnolia Pharmacy. You can find our website, magnoliapharmacy.com. And tonight until midnight, we have 10% off our high-quality, third-party, pharmacist-recommended supplements. But celebrating America, $250. If you spend $250 or more on an order, you get 20% off your supplements. We don't offer this often, but tonight is your chance to do this as far as that goes. Nally, in my side of life, is creatine for a 58 woman a must? I'm not going to say it's a must, but I will tell you, I think it's very smart to be on creatine. There's just too much data coming out. It's super helpful. And I will tell you this much. I think if it's done right, consistently day after day, if you sporadically do creatine, you won't get the benefit. But preserving your muscle as you get older, and 50 and older is even more important. If you get adequate amounts of protein, that's what's key. Got good metabolism. Sometimes you need digestive enzymes when you're over 50, but taking anywhere between 5 to 10 grams of creatine daily, preserving that muscle mass is critical. But there's so much more data now. It isn't just that. It can help prevent fatigue. It can help with energy. It can help with cognitive function. Creatine, as long as you got healthy kidneys and you're drinking lots of water, I think you go for it. I think it's a great choice. Definitely something you should definitely consider. Any vitamins that can help all of a sudden with hair loss caused by stress. You got to get your cortisol levels down. And that starts not by taking supplements. That starts by getting better sleep, controlling your blood sugars, doing yoga, meditation, prayer. Other things you can do, you can go on our website and look. You consider supplements like we have an adrenal support product, which is great. It's got adaptogens like ashwagandha, rhodiola, phosphatidylserine, L-theanine. It's a great combination. That is a product called adrenal support. That's the first place that I would start. You got to work on protecting your gut because that can also cause that. Highly recommend that. Let's go back over to Facebook. I'm going to go about another 3-4 minutes. Remember, you got till midnight tonight to get your supplements 10% off. What's the best supplements to take for gut health? So here's my faves when it comes to that. You want to optimize your vitamin D. So you want to get those levels between 60 and 80. High quality omega-3. That reduces gut inflammation. The other thing is, too, that I want to recommend, if you've got leaky gut, skin conditions, a lot of bloating, you might consider a product called GlutatShield, which is an L-glutamine. We have that on our website that heals and seals those tight junctions in your gut so that food particles can't get through and trigger inflammation. So that's one of my faves. If you've got a flare, you might consider 2 products. One is called SBI Protect. Another product is colostrum. These are anti-inflammatory products that can help reduce inflammation in the gut and can be very effective. Last thing is you might consider some glutathione. That's the other thing that can be beneficial. That's what I'd recommend. Next thing it says, isn't folic acid not good for MRHFR? Well, maybe NTHFR. Folic acid, no. That is one of the reasons why in our Magnolia Multi, we didn't put plain folic acid. I do not recommend folic acid. This has the methyl tetrahydrofolate, which is the methylfolate, the one that is already broke down so your body can use folic acid. And I can tell you, for those that have mental health issues, anxiety, stress, methylfolate can be a game changer. So just want to stress about that. How long can you stay on berberine? I think with berberine, I like to take it. I cycle it myself. I'll take it 3 to 6 months and then I'll get off of it a month or two. I think there's some data that says you should take it long-term. Some you shouldn't. I think that's kind of up to you, but I recommend about 3 to 6 months and get off. L-glutamine short-term. I know about fueling cancer. I've seen that before. I have more issues with L-glutamine. Some people, due to stress, don't convert it. They can convert it to glutamate, which can cause an excitation. That's why you might also consider, like you said, the colostrum, SBI Protect. But those are some things to think about. Do I offer education providers? Yes, I do offer some. Getting close to the end. I'm going to be wrapping up. You got 2 more minutes to drop your questions in there. Just a reminder, magnoliapharmacy.com, magnoliapharmacy.com. Your cell is automatically going to be in there. You don't have to do anything. All of the supplements I talked about tonight and even more are on there. You know what you buy there is quality. I've reviewed, looked at every one. I take a lot of them myself. I recommend them to friends and family. You don't have to worry about counterfeits. We have a rapid turnaround. We're a small business. We're in a small community. We get stuff to you completely, get it to you fast. You're not stuck in with massive delays. Check out magnoliapharmacy.com. Our 4th of July sale is running tonight through midnight. 10% off regular orders, celebrating America 250, 20% off $250 orders. Wrapping up the last few things, B12 versus a B complex. I think a B complex is best. I don't know if you know this or not, but if you take high doses of certain B-only vitamins, they actually compete for each other. I think a B complex is best. Not trying to sell Magnolia Multi. I know you guys are like, come on, Steve, you talked about this all night long. Magnolia Multi has an active form of the B12, not cheap cyanocobalamin, which is in what's in most multivitamins, but it also is a complete B complex with the activated B forms. Want to stress that too. Nally, I'm sorry I don't ship to Europe. I wish I did, but I do not ship to Europe at this time. As far as that goes, looking at it, I'm going to take one last question and then we are going to call it a night. This has been so awesome. You've had some great questions, great comments, trying to wrap things up. Thanks so much for joining. This has been awesome. Keep them coming tonight. Looking at one last question that I have, because I missed one up here. And the last question that I have tonight is, Steve, if you were going to stack 3 supplements for your kind of go-to stack, what would be a foundational bundle? My 3 stacks are, and this is just me personally, and I apologize, I don't have my magnesium, but if it was me, 3 foundational supplements would be 1, Magnolia Multi, 2, Ultra Omega Max by Omega 3, and then finally, a good high-quality magnesium. This is my Brain Mag Max, which is the magnesium threonate or magnesium glycinate. If I was looking for a foundational bundle, that is actually on our website, which is already discounted. You can get that at 10% off. So highly recommend that in terms of picking up supplements. This has been awesome. Thank you so very much for putting your stuff in tonight. Those of you that are asking about what you can take for cholesterol, if you go on my website right now and pull up the metabolic syndrome bundle, it's the 3 supplements that I recommend are my go-tos, which is berberine, bergamot, and omega-3. That is so key. I've used that with a lot of patients that with insulin resistance for the metabolic part, but it is great not only to lower cholesterol, but reduce inflammation, because it's inflammation that causes the problems in terms of your cholesterol numbers. But anyway, remember the metabolic syndrome bundle. I know it didn't say cholesterol, but I can promise you it lowers cholesterol. And those are the 3 that I've recommended tonight. Thank you all so much. Appreciate you being on. Once again, you got till midnight to get your supplements. If you don't know about Magnolia Circle, check it out. There's a link in the bio. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, you want to be a part of this type of atmosphere where we answer questions, you might want to check out Inner Circle. We have our first Inner Circle webinar coming up. Super excited to have you join us tonight. Thanks so much. Have a good rest of your 4th of July. Be safe and God bless America.